Today we're going to be learning about cells, how they communicate in the cell cycle. Let's start with cell communication. Cells can communicate by generating, receiving, transmitting, and responding to signals. Cells can communicate with one another by cell-to-cell contact using chemical signaling. Signal transduction links signals reception with the cellular responses. A ligand-binding domain of a receptor from one cell recognizes a ligand from another cell, which can result in growth, gene expression, and other appropriate responses. Let's talk about the cell cycle. This process is very important in order for cells to grow and replicate. The first stage of cell reproduction is interphase, which takes the longest out of all the phases. In the G1 phase, the cell grows and organelles duplicate. During the S phase, DNA is replicated. 2 chromatids are formed and held at the centromere. The last phase of interphase, the G2 phase, is where protein is synthesized, ATP is produced, and centrioles replicate. Prophase is the first phase of mitosis. The nucleolus will start to disappear, the chromatin will turn into chromosomes, and mitotic spindle fibers will form. During metaphase, the chromosomes light up in the middle and spindle fibers attach to the centromeres. During anaphase, chromosomes break at the centromere and move to opposite ends of the cell. Telophase and cytokinesis are the last and final steps of mitosis. During telophase and cytokinesis, the nuclear envelope will start to slowly develop, and chromosomes will turn into chromatin. The cell will eventually split into 2 different cells. Now we'll be talking about how the cell cycle is regulated. The cell cycle has restriction points throughout each phase where the cell is checked to see if it can continue or not. Disruptions in the cell can lead to disastrous outcomes. If a cell has abnormal growth rate due to a disruption, this can ultimately lead to cancer. Disruptions in the cell cycle can also lead to apoptosis, known as cell death. Feedback of a cell is used to maintain internal and external environmental changes. The first type of feedback is negative. Negative feedback maintains homeostasis if a system is disturbed. Negative feedback mechanisms send the system back to its target set point. The other type of feedback is positive. Positive feedback mechanisms amplify responses and send the system further away from its initial target set point. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to our presentation on cells.